All right, what's going on, everybody? We're back.
Yay! I missed y'all.
All right, back. Yeah,
Two times.
yeah. Does feel like it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. Because we did what? The other show, we actually just did a recap of all the different shows and such, so it was pretty cool.
Yes.
All right, so guys, Kerry Deasy.
Your man, Adrian Biddle, a.k.a.
Hey,
Money.
And the person to my left.
All right.
your girl Melissa, aka
Big girl in a dress.
Make you shake and boots. Yeah. And we are at the Roundtable Podcast live here on Facebook. I'm not even gonna say anything because we got people already chiming in, so I'm gonna leave it up to you to introduce our special guests.
well, on to our Instagram live people. So tonight we have one of my peoples that I have known, Miss Kim Delaney Starring. She is, I call her Superwoman. That's all I'm gonna say.
All right,
We're gonna get into her story, get into what she has done, what she's going to do, inspiration to you all. So get you a nice little snack and some water and sit back and relax, get ready to tune in with us.
Let's get right here for joining us.
Thank you.
Welcome. What's going on, Crystal Wooten, for joining us on At the Round Table.
Hey, Crystal.
Hey, Crystal.
Terry Digsby, thank you, Terry, for joining us on At the Round Table. And she just did a shameless plug saying my grandbaby is yelling at me for interrupting her show.
Uh-oh.
Oh, sorry. All right. But yes, welcome, sis.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, hey, we following your
Oh, you
lead.
mean that?
We following your lead, Queen.
So we're gonna ask this queen to just start out, how did you, start out, for those who, the reason why we had Kim on our show is because she's, mother, wife, entrepreneur, and she has her own personal testimony, and so just kind of want to let her just lead into what got her started and what keeps her motivated.
Absolutely. Thank y'all for having me. I really appreciate it. I'm a podcast junkie, so I'm gonna try to stay the course and focus. But so I started this journey about 5 years ago due to my diagnosis of cancer. And so I am slightly out of remission, meaning that I'm stubborn enough that I told my oncologist that I will never do chemo again. I thought having a child was hard. I feel like chemo is the closest thing to death that you can come to. So definitely a testimony. I leaned on my faith when I had nothing else. My husband now is my boyfriend at the time. So on my weekdays, he was there to lift me up and remind me of who our Savior was. And so that definitely got me through. But being in the hospital was also kind of my fire that said there's got to be something better than this. Nobody should suffer like this, with the end result being that you're better, but you got to go through hell to get there.
Right.
And I don't think that's true. So in all of that, I found natural medicine, homeopathic medicine, just integrated medicine, things that we can do as opposed to doing such harsh treatment. So when I started my research, I started seeing cannabis in all things, THC, CBD, hemp, and it just really started to intrigue me. Most of us kind of dabbled in college. I was not the exception to that rule, but it was something I really stuck with, especially when I had kids. You have that kind of guilt, especially as a mom. You got the mom guilt, like you want to be present and accounted for, and that's you did that back in the day. Well, now we know that plant is actually medicine, and so the more I studied, the deeper I got into it and found the truth that really exists. Everybody has everything for them. I'm not knocking traditional medicine, but for me and my path, in my family, there's got to be a better way. So when I started researching what we could do in a non-legal state, there was still some hope with CBD. We always hear there's not research, that's bull crap.
Right.
If you go right now to the National Institute of Health website, and that's an organization, you will see plenty of research that's been conducted. If you go to the University of Israel, they're already diagnosing and treating their patients with cannabis. So that is some crap that you hear.
And you also took a trip
I
to
did.
Israel, right?
I did. I went to a cannabis conference last March. Definitely took the trip for granted. It didn't hit me until I got back to the States. Because the goal was to go to the cannabis conference. Some of it was over my head because it was a research conference, but that was good. You know, we go out west to those trade shows, and a lot of times it's just recreational, more business to consumer shows. This was legit. Like, we are treating our patients. We know if you have breast cancer, you need this amount of THC to this amount of CBD. Like, they have it down to a science for real.
Wow.
And so I was there for about 5 days, did the convention for 3 days, but then also just visit the Holy Land. Went to Bethlehem and Jerusalem and just really kind of took it all in. And again, the significance, the magnitude did not even hit me until I came back home. But they say there's so much turmoil there because it's the holiest place in the world. If you really think about that, that's true.
Right.
And so I feel like I went to the Dead Sea, I cleansed my body, I prayed over my veins. Like, I feel like there's more to my journey. I don't believe God made me sick for a reason, but I feel like it's a part of my truth.
Right.
And so that's why I'm a real big believer in this plant. My oncologist he's somewhat on board, meaning that he knows I'm stubborn as crap. And he tells me, as long as your numbers are not, deadly, so to speak, I'll do whatever you ask me to. And I feel like that's how we need to be in our healthcare.
Right.
We don't need to just be like, okay, they went to school, let me, their word is truth.
Right.
I think you, just like church, I think you question things and you bring it up. Because at the end of the day, it's your body, it's your health, and it's your pocketbook.
Yeah.
Because that debt is serious.
It can be.
Yes.
So I think all of that matters. And so from that, me and my husband just started researching about CBD, what we could do legally, looking at brands, really researching brands, looking at their lab reports, looking at what their customers are saying. So every product that we bring in is really hand selected. So we started so we opened a store, July of 2017. It started as an online store. So we did that, really worked the community in Charlotte and Concord, doing festivals and pop-ups and farmers markets. And the first of this year, we decided to go ahead and open the store. So we are continuing to educate people. We do educational classes at the store as well. Everything from CBD 101, women in CBD, because we have certain things, menstruation, menopause, different things that we go through that CBD can help with. And then we even have like more fun things like edibles, puff and paints. So we do anything to kind of engage our customers and give them the information.
Puff and paint.
That is coming up in July.
Hey, but money said, hey.
Yes. So we opened the store in March, and we have done very well thus far. Some trials and tribulations, with employees and property management and that kind of crap. But as far as like customers really understanding and coming in and open and receptive in Concord, small Concord, like red carpet all the way. Did the ribbon cutting. The city has been phenomenal with us, and that was one of the things going in that we kind of was fearful of,
Right?
Because at the end of the day, we're African Americans.
Yeah.
It's cannabis.
Yeah.
We have all these things against us.
Right.
But they were like, nope, open arms. And so that's where we are. That's where we are. The future is maybe franchising and opening up some things, but right now, really just trying to hone in on what we have and grow that brand.
And your page is My Greenhouse on Facebook.
Facebook and Instagram. It's My
And
Greenhouse CBD.
Okay. And your store is located.
We just moved like this week. So it is 349 Copperfield Boulevard, Northeast. So we're right behind the hospital in Concord, exit 58. And we're in a great location. We're surrounded by restaurants. So hopefully we'll get foot traffic
Because
organically.
people might get hungry.
Right up in the 70.
Yes.
You're right up the road. Yeah, so y'all definitely need to come check it out. Oh, Lady Smith, thank you for joining us at the round table. Naima Abdullah, thank you for joining us at the round table.
Thank you.
Mahogany Tabiti, thank you for joining us at the round table. Yes. All other than this right here, people are chopping on. They want to find out more about CBD.
Well, first of all, congratulations on your remission.
Thank you.
Secondly, how did you start off using it as far as with your health and everything?
Okay, so my husband is just raw. So at the time, he was still the boyfriend, but I remember we went to an appointment. I did all my therapy at UNC Chapel Hill. So I have a rare, on top of having a bone marrow cancer, which is only 1% of all cancers, I have a rare illness called amyloidosis, which is where the blood protein builds up and usually attacks a major organ. It's kind of like a blood pressure where it's a silent killer. People don't know till the last minute. Well, thank God I was having enough symptoms to where just trace amounts would show. So the amyloidosis is a protein deposits in my intestines, which is also why I'm vegan, because food was hurting me at the time. So going through treatment and all that, I started to lose a bunch of weight because food didn't taste good or it just hurt. So I was constantly in pain. So my husband, being the smoker that he is, said to the doctor, can she smoke? We know we'll give her an appetite. We know that it will kind of combat the steroids that's keeping her awake at night. And the doctor was like, look, I can't say yes or no. For one, just because we don't know how clean it is, right? So if I'm going to Mikey down the street, not necessarily going to be clean as opposed to be going to, the official dispensary, right? And we weren't even there yet. This was just 4 years ago. So there was no dispensaries at all here, right? So got my medical marijuana card and was able to do something on that end, but so from the forefront, I was doing the illegal stuff just because I couldn't sleep worth the crap. Like anybody coming in the bedroom, I'd be up for the rest of the night. Like it was any small sound would instantly just throw me off. I couldn't eat anything. Like I'd eat a chicken nugget and be done for the rest of the day. So at least smoking cannabis gave me some of my life back. Yeah.
Okay.
But that's a good question.
Yes, I didn't even know that.
Yeah. And for the longest, I looked very normal. It just looked like, girl, you looking good. You losing weight.
I probably was
Like for the longest, I hit it very well. Not till I got my high dose chemo when my hair fell out. Was it like, okay, game over? Like it is what it is. So yeah.
And I guess for me, I was definitely a smoker. High school, my, after school, just secondary education, even picked it up as an adult again. So it was always like, you smoke weed, and you're hiding and you're going outside. I'm taking drives in my car, and stuff like that. And I don't want anybody to know. So then I'm spraying Febreze. And once I started looking at the health benefits of cannabis, coming from our family medical history, a high percentage of breast cancer. I actually have a first cousin that is fighting it as now. I started looking at, what? This is about health. This is about educating yourself and treating your body. Or for me, prevention. Because of being sober, I've never been diagnosed, but I'm already in the 25th percentile. That's extremely high for those who, can never have had breast cancer or any type of diagnosis of it. To be in 25% percentile, they're already saying by the time I'm 50, I should have a diagnosis. I'm not seeing brown ears. So I'm not going to claim that.
Right.
But I definitely want to try to say what and how I can do to prevent that. So I know you're vegan. I look at some of the stuff. I look at some of your recipes and you post online, and I go, oh wow, and then I say, oh no. For people who watched us, my last show, we had Marathi on the show, and he so triggered my mind about vegan life in food. So guys, I was making some scrambled eggs. So I kept hearing him talk about the baby. And I was like, yeah, so I couldn't even I couldn't eat the eggs. I couldn't go through with it. And I was just like, is it starting? So how has your vegan lifestyle helped along with your cannabis treatment?
Absolutely. So I'm a very visual person. So I get that. I haven't eaten eggs, oh my gosh, maybe 10 years. Because I automatically think, okay, technically this is a baby that just cracked open. So for me, visually, it helps. I've never been a big meat eater anyway, though. Like growing up, my mom would make stuff and I'm like, okay, I love cube steak, but it takes so long to chew, like that kind of thing. And so it was a lot easier for me to transition. So with veganism, I no longer hurt when I eat my, you know what I mean? Like, I don't have to worry about having some cheese that I love. And I love cheese, and people always say, that's the hardest thing to give up. Well, not now that I know which vegan cheeses are good. It's, you know, it's easy. So I went through my trials already. But food doesn't hurt me anymore. And then listen to people like Dr. CB who just passed, like then the knowledge just starts to compound so much more. And you start to find out what of our foods is actually artificial foods and man-made foods. And so then the knowledge just gets deeper. And you know, there's an old Ayurvedic saying that, you know, you use your food as medicine and therefore you don't need medicine. Like there's this whole thing how he says it, but yeah, the way we take care of our bodies, what we put into the body is actually what makes us keep going. So there is even a conversation of how much of our illness is genetic and how much of it is just environmental, right? So if you think about it, if you say, okay, my granddad and his dad had pancreatic cancer, okay, but if everybody was in the kitchen and you watched him use fat back and everything, then really is it genetic or is it just something that you picked up because you saw the pattern?
I think it's both. I think that because we're all made up differently, and everybody has different cells, different tissues, different organs, and different function levels. To me, that's where the genetic part comes in. So if you're a person that you can't break down certain proteins or certain vitamins, certain minerals, certain things in your body, then you're eating the wrong things to help that misfunction or dysfunction. Then your son is going to do what you did, but they also have that same dysfunction, and then their son or daughter, and they also have that same dysfunction. So I think that's where genetics come in, like in marriage with that food, because if you don't function properly, and then you're doing bad things or eating bad, and you pass that on in the kitchen. But again, we as African Americans, I mean, how many people can honestly say, you know, you're healthy? You know how healthy you are. How many people, my aunt, dad in Maryland got me to start. She was one of the first people that spoke about a medical journal. To have a medical journal to say, okay, this happened this year, you know, or this was off, I went to the doctors for this. So your children have something to say, hey, mommy started having this when she was in her 30s, or this started happening when she was in her 40s. Not to take it on for your type of diagnosis at that age, but just so you can have some type of reference. We as African Americans don't do that. And I think we need to, you know, just like we're passing down, you know, knowledge on things, you need to have family traditions with that. I think that'd be very beneficial if we start that.
Good point, sis.
I've even taken it, you know, and I think I tell my doctor all the time, I said sometimes I feel like cancer makes me a hypochondriac. Like I feel like it's a cancer. But like I've even talked to my kids' pediatricians and said, because it is a blood cancer, at what age do I need to get the kids tested? When is it a red flag? Is it something that they need to make sure that they carry on when they leave my household to tell their doctors so that it is called? So it always kind of keeps you hypersensitive almost.
And I have to wish you, talking about kids, having a 3-year-old in your 5-year midst.
Right.
That is such a testimony in itself. What were some of the doctors saying to you when you found out that you were expecting?
So before that, when I was in treatment, they said, because of what you have is so rare, if you were in your 20s, and again, they all made me feel like I was ancient. If you were in your 20s, we know for certain that you would be able to conceive again. If you were in your 40s, we would say absolutely it's off the table. But you're in your 30s and we have no idea. So I was diagnosed at 35. And I was just like, okay. So I went through treatment, didn't have a cycle. I felt like it was in fifth grade again. I was like, okay, so you need a cycle, right? You can see, like, not that part. Like, it's not just sex, like there's other pieces. And so I got my cycle back, and I told my boyfriend, let's get it, let's go. But again, I feel like all of it happened when it's supposed to.
Right.
So we started that December. Every January we go to Vegas for a trade show, because I'm a buyer in real life as well. So I work for Adam and Eve. And so there's an industry show every January. So we were out there, came back from my meetings, and my boyfriend, now husband, said, you want to go get married? And I was like, yeah, right, whatever. Like you said, is there a time we come out here? He's like, no, like I've already called memo, chapel was said, like we're going. No lie. 2 weeks after we came back, I said, I don't feel right. I feel like I felt when I was pregnant with Zion. I know what this feeling is. Take a test, we were pregnant. So it's like we had to make it official, and then I was like, okay, now we got it. I told my oncologist he about freaked, because he had just started me on a maintenance drug that December that was used back in the 70s, and it was used for something else, but all the ladies that started to conceive, those children had like missing limbs when they came out, like things were wrong. And he was trying to tell me not to go through it without telling me. So he was like, are you sure you want to do this? Are you going to take that risk? And I was like, if God brought her to this baby, because we didn't know until we had her. If God allowed me to do this when y'all said I would not conceive, absolutely we're going to do this. And so I was considered high risk the whole time. That's fine. I was with my son as well. And she came early, just like my son did. And we didn't know if she would have a name or nothing until she came. And her middle name is Grace. Because that's what it is. That's what it is. So my testimony is real.
Right.
Yes,
it is. That's why, hold on. I think your cape is knotted. Let me spread this cape out here. That's why I said she is a superwoman. Because to go through that, and then it gives you a perspective of when you're looking and thinking about stuff that you start complaining about, or you start feeling down because just didn't happen for you. Yeah, think about her.
That's true.
You have nothing to complain about because she went through this, and not to say that you didn't have moments when you were like, why me? But you're here today.
Yeah. You know what? But those moments were so rare. Like as horrible as it all was, again, never, maybe honest to God, like maybe once or twice did I say, why me? That never even came out of my lips because I knew that we go through so much for a reason. We go through and everything, all of our steps are truly, truly laid out for us. So it wasn't really why me, but what am I supposed to do with this?
Right. That's right.
How does this fit into all of it?
Right. That's it.
Shouts out to Jeremiah Hope. He just joined us on At the Roundtable. He just asked, what about the discernment of certain traditions? Going back to what you were saying as far as how we saw our families constantly use these products and stuff. When did it click? So thank you, Jeremiah, for joining us and saying that.
Thank you.
Robert Washington just joined us at the Roundtable. What's going on, Robert?
Mr. Washington.
Darlene Renee Graham just joined us at the Roundtable. What's going on, Luke? Hopping in now. Wow.
You couldn't even say her real name. Because you always say.
What's up? Yeah. So everybody's chimed in, and this is some very good stuff because it shows basically what I think so many of us, when we go through the health situation, especially African Americans, we want to dumb it down, and we want to be ignorant to the fact of things that happen to us, and what we can do to take care of ourselves. And I think Maraki even said it when he was on here, is that you'll spend all this money on that dope Gucci bag or these shoes or whatever sort, but you won't take a just small ounce of prevention, a little bit more money to either eat better or to find those natural type gifts that can help you heal yourself. So thank you for sharing that, sis.
So Kim, you said you're hand selecting all of your products for your store. Like approximately, I know this might sound grand, like approximately how many different products are you offering?
So we have everything from topicals, which is the things that you rub on the body like a Bengay, to the tinctures that you take under the tongue, so they're homeopathic, to edibles, which are absolutely fantastic. Oh my gosh,
You just have so much.
We do. We have accessories as well. We have hemp t-shirts that hold up better to cotton. And I mean, that's a whole nother thing. Like cotton is a dirty material, blah blah blah.
It ain't so.
It is so
Yes, it
sad.
is.
And I'm not talking about the suede one that like grew it. Like it's really a dirty material altogether.
Wow.
Oh gosh, when I look at the SKU, probably close to 200 items, but we really work with maybe 24 brands.
Okay.
And a couple of them are vertically integrated, which means they grow their own flower, they extract, and then they bottle. There's a company out of Tennessee and a company out of Colorado specifically that are, I believe both are female-led companies,
Okay.
and they're vertically integrated. So yeah, very, very strategic about who I work with, because again, if somebody comes to my store that is looking for healing, quote unquote, I want to give them the best possible thing.
Yes.
And not every product is for everybody, because it took me about 4 or 5 things before I found something that worked for me, because my stomach is so funky acting. So I always stress it to the customers, like, if this don't work, we will find something that does. But 80% of the time, we are kind of right on the mark with it. Yeah.
Curious question.
Mhm.
They're looking at things.
I'm gonna preference this by saying I'm asking for a friend.
Okay, yes.
Okay. So, is there a difference in smell with hemp from the streets? Because it smells pungent in comparison to what you sell.
No, and that's the issue. So as of last week, the SBI and the Sheriff's Association kind of did like a smackdown. So everybody was like, "Oh my gosh, we can't do flour no more." And as flour is a big seller in all stores if you have it. That is their issue. There's nothing that they can do on the spot testing. So if you get pulled over and you have CBD and you have THC, there's nothing that will tell them the difference. They'll have to send it off, which is another expense for the state, which of course, you know, is going to be passed on to us.
Right.
It smells the same. It looks the same. So anytime I have a new customer come in buying flour, I say, "You're going to think I'm lying when you get home, because you're like, this girl doesn't sell me THC. She's trying to," because it looks and smells exactly the same. Your entire experience is going to be the same until it gets to your head. So you'll be just as aware, just as that we are now. Hold a conversation, functional, still go to hair cedar, do your hair, like whatever.
Yes.
That body is just elevated and de-stressed. And so you're still going to feel it. It's just, it's different, but the same.
I got you.
But yeah, it is not exactly the same.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, you know, for your friend, tell your friend that they might want to do some edibles. Tell your friend versus trying to smoke something, your friend might want to do some edibles.
Texting him right now.
Yeah. Let him know, man. Knowledge is gold.
And the brownies are good from up there. The brownies are good from up there. Well, so I heard from a friend.
Okay.
Now, what were you saying about the vape?
The vapes are different. So it is still the oil from the flower. So it's still going to have similar to the same experience. Like we have a brand that is super clean, which is why I picked it up. So there's no harsh chemicals, there's no synthetics, there's no flavoring. So it's either we have indica, sativa, or hybrid. And it just what it is, what you're used to, is that same thing, just from a CBD standpoint. So the indica definitely is a relaxant, and the hybrid is a lifter. I mean, the sativa is a lifter, but there is no smell with it. And it's just as quick because the lungs and the rectum are the 2 places in our body that delivers the fastest relief. Which again, you think about is why people smoke, right?
Yeah.
If you're stressed out, you're gonna grab your cigarette because you're gonna instantly kind of calm down. Same thing with a vape item or smoking your flower or your traditional THC. If you notice, I try not to use the word marijuana because that is also a derogatory word.
Right.
So trying to just, flower is a new term that everybody
Teach us, Queen, teach us.
Yes. So
Wow.
marijuana is actually a slang term. It's actually a more Latin term, but it's used to demean them. So just trying to use our wording correctly, and let people know that it's all cannabis at the end of the day. Hemp is just a different strain, just like marijuana is a strain. Think of it as greens, right?
Yes.
It's all greens. You got your mustard, your collards,
Right.
but it's all greens.
Okay.
Same thing.
Hold that thought, women. Hey, Elise Pretty, it is her birthday. Happy birthday,
Happy
sis.
birthday.
Thank you for joining us on that Roundtable Okay, we're gonna get back to these greens.
Yes.
Okay, so you said they're like greens.
Yeah.
Right, so I'm in the store.
Okay.
I'm in Food Line.
Uh-huh.
And then I'm picking up some collards, I got mustard, I got kale,
Mhm.
you can probably get some mixed greens.
Right.
So with the products that you have, they're in that kind of like variety.
That's the easiest way to tell a customer the difference. Those people will come in and they don't know. Like I did a festival Sunday, and I was surprised at the amount of young people. Again, I'm not ancient, but I was surprised at the amount of young people that came to my table that had no idea what CBD was. So yes, it is all cannabis. There's not a real distinguishing difference. Hemp, yes, you can use it to make clothes and building materials, right? So it's more sustainable. And that's how we, in non-legal states, extract our CBD is from the hemp strain. So until we move to legalization, when we get to legalization, then we can use the CBD that's extracted from THC, which possibly maybe might be more medicinal. The verdict is still out because research is showing us differently. When I first started this journey, everything was no, THC strain is the better strain for trying to heal the body. But now we're seeing, no, maybe not. Maybe this other strain is just as potent. It might take a little bit more, but it might be still equal.
Interesting.
Wow.
Interesting.
Right.
So let's talk also, so our people will know in regards from a legal standpoint. What is, hey, what's going on, Vicky Humphreys? Thank you for joining us. Rodney Squires, thank you for joining us at the Roundtable. Coming in, boy, I'm telling you, this is being
Well, this is I looked at my watch.
You saw it.
This is our time.
This
Yeah.
is the time. They all coming in. They done finished dinner. They want to get on here and
Right.
find out about this. So,
6:30.
yeah, so from a legal standpoint,
Yeah.
explain that as far as like if a person who comes into your store and they're getting something and they want to make sure that, okay, it's legit, I'm not going to get hit when I'm getting tested, blah, blah, blah. Explain to our followers that portion of it, because I know you've done your research on it.
Absolutely, because at the end of the day, I'm Black and we're in the South.
Yes.
I got to be on it.
Yeah.
So everything is geared toward the customer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Depending on what that customer tells me when they walk in the door. If they say to me, I can't fail a drug test, then I'm going to show them a certain stream of products. So what I mean is, so CBD comes in various forms. You have full spectrum, which is the top, basically the top shelf. It has the entire plant in the medicine. Technically, if you're trying to heal your body, if there's something in your body that's fixable, you always want to go to full spectrum. Okay. It's always going to have a trace amount of THC. Broad spectrum is the next on the list. That does not have THC. It's going to give you just as much property, but you're not getting a full benefit, right? And then you have isolate. Isolate is strictly for pain relief. There's no THC at all. There's no healing properties. But if you have arthritis, you might need an isolate. So it just depends on the customer experience and what they need. So from a legality standpoint, I think everybody in the industry is moving towards this, but you have QR codes on everything now, or at least we're getting there. So that does a couple of things. That will trace back to the farm that flower was picked from to extract that oil. Or to put in that bag of eighth bag, yeah. So everything is traceable and trackable. That also shows you what heavy metals or pesticides are in the product. So there's certain regulations, even though we're not FDA approved, blah, blah, blah. There's certain things that we still have to mandate. Again, if we're trying to help people fix themselves, we'll make sure there's not heavy metals that they're consuming from the soil that the product was grown in. So technically, if the customer leaves our store, they bought a bag of flour. As long as that bag of flour is sealed, unopened, in its original form, then if they were to get pulled over, they can reference the QR code on the back of the product. It will show the officer, the lab report that's tied to it, showing how much CBD and how much THC is in that particular product.
Gotcha.
Now, you always hear, but what if somebody opens it, they just put their weed in there? Yeah, you could. But as soon as you open that bag, I can no longer help you. My attorney can no longer help you. Because please believe, I am Black and Southern and I have an attorney. So, we cannot help you. But yes, we are starting to see more QR codes on more products. There was only a handful when we kind of first started out. But again, everybody's trying to get on board for legalization. So where it's not truly mandated, everybody's trying to get in that direction.
To make it as easier transition.
So does the QR code prevents them from confiscating it?
I think it depends on the officer.
Yeah.
And
I'm gonna
yeah.
say no.
Because we talked to, so my husband, as dark as he is, bless his soul, he's a little white. Well, I just say that because he's a fisherman, he's a hunter, like he does stuff that I don't really do, so that's not fair. I shouldn't say that. Like, we're just very opposite. You know what I mean? Well, I was so like ungodly. It's just ungodly. But he had a homeboy talking to an officer, and the officer said it depends on who pulls you over.
Wow.
It does. And the funny thing is, Chris got stopped for like a light went out in the back of the car, and had a whole fledged conversation with the officer about CBD. And the officer was like, I had no idea. So like he's schooling the officer as he's running his tags. But that's the thing, they don't know, and we are fully open to always having that conversation. Somebody had a warrant out for them. The officers were, it was like 10 of them over near the store trying to find them. They come in the store just to see if we had seen them. But then Chris takes the opportunity to talk to them about flour because you just don't know.
Education.
Education. And so every time we do that, they are more receptive to us when we do that. Not yet, knock on wood, has anybody came wrong, off to us when we approach them about it.
Right.
So, yeah.
Wow.
Wow. What's going on, Mr. Jamelo Lowry? Thank you for joining us at the round table. Ro Breezy, hey girl, thank you for joining us at the round table. That's what's up. Boy, everybody just
Popping in.
Yeah. So what's some of the benefits to this topical cream that you provide?
Inquiring minds.
The topicals are good because they're immediate. So they penetrate through the 7 layers of the skin, go straight to the bloodstream. You're going to feel a difference, like honestly, within like 10 minutes. So CBD is without us doing anything, adding the herbs to it, it is already an anti-inflammatory or an anti-inflammatory. So it's going to reduce the swelling that the body is experiencing, whether you rub it on or whether you take it internally. That's just its natural property.
Okay.
I feel a little knee aching there. Right?
Girl, your knee been aching for about 4 hours.
I'm not sure. I need something else on my hands.
You don't want to smell like being gay.
So I had quite a few friends that are, recreational users of THC, but also want to look into CBD. You see different dispensaries open all around, especially in our neighborhoods.
Right.
And one of my girlfriends is over at the house. I have one that has opened down the street from me, and she was like, "Oh, what's going there?" I said, "I'm not." She's like, "Oh, why?" I said, "Because I don't know if they're real or not." And she goes, "What do you mean?" I said, "I'm not patronizing them. I don't know what they do. I don't know where they're getting their product. I don't know what kind of products they are carrying. I don't know if they care about it or they're just making money." I said, "So I will continue to drive to Concord because I'm not dealing with this." And she's like, "Well, don't they have some type of law or something that they gotta have a certain kind of?" I said, "It's very gray. And it is not, like you said, there's no real FDA restriction. So you can kind of order by bulk. You go on Amazon and get stuff. Like, you don't know where that's coming from. So how has your market, your customers, your business fared with these new pop-ups, overnight pop-up CBD dispensaries?
I feel like, for the most part, shoppers are location-based. So depending on the customer experience that they've had before they've seen us, I will always tell a customer, for the most part, do not go to a vape shop. Because kind of what you're saying, everybody's heart ain't pure, right? So I feel like vape shops or even gas stations, they're just trying to get in on the green rush.
Right.
Am I trying to create a legacy for my children? Absolutely.
Right.
But I'm also selective. You're going to fare off better if you go to a dispensary that is organized for that product. Hopefully you're going to find staff that are well versed. And I said, hopefully. Because we have come across many customers that came in that say we have taken more time with them and explained the product to them. My 15-year-old works for me, and I told him he cannot work for me unless he understood product and he knows that thing to a T. He could run that store by himself if he wanted to. He is a salesman by heart. He's an actor by nature. He wants to be an actor, but he knows that product like the back of his hand. And customers really appreciate that when they have that experience in our store. They know that we're not just trying to sell them.
To the dispensary, and they give you product by price point first, walk out.
Absolutely.
Walk out.
Absolutely. And the irony in that is we work with a lot of smaller shops, but there's a company called Evolved Alchemy out of Colorado, and they are alchemists. So they know herbs like it's nobody's business. That is one of our least expensive tinctures, and we're our best sellers because it works so well. It is spicy as crap, but if you have pain in your body, I think people are almost willing to do anything. But it has black pepper and cayenne and CBD, and it's phenomenal. Like that cream I told you works in 10 minutes, this bad boy knocks it out. So I have chronic back pain from my sickness, and I tried it with one of my other stores that sells our products, and it's phenomenal.
Wow.
Yeah. We cannot keep that one in stock, it flies. So, yeah.
And where's the store located again?
So the store is at 349 Copperfield Boulevard.
Tell them to the camera.
Talk to the camera.
349 Copperfield Boulevard, Concord, North Carolina, right behind the hospital.
Take 85 north, the exit 58.
Yes.
And you're right there.
We also have what we call sister properties. So the Faded Rose in Monroe, North Carolina, downtown Monroe, she carries a handful of our products. And the, oh gosh, she's going to kill me, the Lotus Yoga Studio in downtown Concord. So she was one of the first to open her doors to us. And she has been one of my biggest proponents. Like, girl, you need to go ahead and open the store. Like anything that I've been questioning, she will just throw out in the universe. And she's not even African American. She's one of my biggest advocates. And she opened her door to me and was like, I believe in it, bring it in. Anytime she has something special going on, she invites us. She's good people.
So your mobile store. Do you see in the future maybe doing some afternoon like food, like how food trucks is parked? Like, do you see yourself being able to say, hey, I'm at such and such and such, you know, and kind of doing the different locations like that?
Absolutely. So the first thought when we started doing that was we would kind of do like almost like a home party thing. So if you called me and said, hey, I got 15 girlfriends coming over on such and such date, then we would use that as an opportunity to bring product out and sell. So that is still not off the table. So that is very doable. But yeah, that is the idea, is to kind of pop up and be at various locations or have shown their following to where, yes, we build it out there and people just kind of gather.
Real popular.
Real popular.
Think I know what I want to do for my birthday?
Michael Disney, thank you for joining us at the Roundtable. Amanda Matthews Jenkins is joining us as well.
Hey.
Hello, people.
Man, boy, everybody wants to know about
The
this.
People Podcast, we got something for you.
So, quick question in regards to so the edibles. Do you find, okay, so out of the products that you sell and such, who buys what? In other words, per the demographic or whatever.
Yeah.
Who buys, like, is it more leaning to the actual creams versus more leaning to the actual vapes or to the edibles? Where do you see your highest concentration in regards to sales?
Absolutely depends on where we're at.
Okay.
So here's what I mean. If we do a pop-up, right, or a festival, typically the vapes lead and kind of, it's usually vapes, tinctures, rubs.
Okay.
Do the farmer's market, it's usually the tinctures, then the rubs. And edibles are actually getting stronger at the market because they prick. But then in the store, flour sells really well. Ironic enough, the vegan brownies outsell all of the edibles. That's the thing. I get them from a lady out of Chicago. She's a baker. She hounded me to death. I know I'm talking about like 12 emails. I was telling like, send me some samples. And by God, I cannot keep them in stock. So,
Vegan.
So one thing I like vegan so far.
You know what? I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, got a question on y'all. Research time.
I don't know, but I was like, I said, because now I follow so blind. Like him could say, Melissa, try this now, just do it.
Right.
So, it's all right, wait on. I don't taste like it.
Exactly, and that's the thing. A lot of vegan like desserts are very dry, and these you cannot tell. It tastes like a traditional brownie. It really
Wow.
does.
Okay.
Like I was like it was good, like it was gooey, like it was gooey, it was good.
And Tim is like,
Do not eat the whole. Do not
see,
eat the whole.
disclaimer, I was waiting for
brownie.
that. You gotta do.
Unless you are an insomniac and that is your whole goal, you better not eat the whole.
Do
brownie.
not eat the whole brownie.
Quarters, halves. We need people to know these things.
Probably.
Make a cross. Make a cross. Take a knife and go like this and go like this.
Okay,
And
see.
then you take a corner and you let your queen take a corner and that's it.
Yes. We even have a chocolate bar that is absolutely amazing. We have two, but this one is only 100 milligrams. I'm sure the 120 is much more potent. I told my homegirl, we were doing the grand opening, do not eat the whole bar. I look over, a couple hours have passed. I don't know when she got the dang on bar. I look over at her and her eyes is like flaws could blind her. And I'm like, what did you do? What did you do? She had ate half of the candy bar. I said, just because it looks like a Mr. Good bar, don't mean you eat like a Mr. Good bar.
Yes.
I said, 1 square. On that one, 1 square.
One
And
square
I
on the
promise you
candy
that'll be
bar.
enough.
One square on the candy bar and cut the brownie into 4s. So
Oh,
you know somebody was greedy.
Yeah.
I didn't even know. Like I was working on the laptop, I was working on the website, and I was like, I'm just gonna taste this brownie because I try to try everything in the store so I can tell the customers how the experience was.
Right.
Child, in 10 minutes, I was like, dang, why am I so tired? Gang on
Woke up
brownie.
the next day.
Just went in and closed that laptop, but not too sorry.
I woke up the next day.
It was a wrap.
I woke up the next day.
Wow, that's potent right
Yeah,
there.
it is. You just eat half,
Because you know how you snack,
Right.
So I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
So I was breaking it in pieces, so I had like 2 little crumble pieces. Then, about 5 minutes passed, I had another 2 crumble. So I consumed the whole brownie in probably like, say, 20 minutes.
So here's why the way you intake your product is different, right? So like I told you, smoking it, taking it through the lungs, it's immediate.
Right.
You rub on, it's gonna last you about 4 hours, take in about 10 minutes.
Okay.
Well, with edibles, the reason why they hold onto our body so long is once you consume them, it holds onto the fat cells in the body. So if you do a CBD edible or a THC edible, you feel higher, quote unquote, than normal because it's the way that it holds onto the body is different than any other way you consume it. And so it's going to last you longer, which is why it just made you go on sleep. It's going to hold onto the body and last longer.
Wow.
So if you ever had, went to Colorado, went to a dispensary and got a big candy bar, you notice that you feel high as crap. Some people are higher going into the next day because you're eating it thinking it's a normal candy bar, and you can't shake from being high.
Yeah.
If that ever happens, get you some CBD. CBD counteracts the highness in THC, and it will bring you down.
Okay.
Just a little side note.
Have you ever had a pasta dish? Just regular pasta.
Yeah.
At dinner, and you're drinking during dinner. So pasta is a starch, and it soaks up. So very first time I've ever had pasta in alcohol, I was so buzzed, and I stayed buzzed like that whole night. And my friend was like, "That's because you ate pasta." So the pasta is soaking up the alcohol that you're drinking, and now your body's doing what it naturally does and breaks it down. So now it releases the alcohol back into your system. So when you're eating an edible and you're has some nice little fluffiness, but it really doesn't matter. It's just your fat, your cells, period. It holds on to those things. So it's like if you ever had that happen to you, it's the same effect.
It's interesting, man.
Very much so.
Very interesting.
Now going back to the flour.
Yes.
Now this is like actual flour that you cook with, right?
You can if you'd like. It is buds, but flour is the term that is kind of like the new industry jargon right now.
Oh,
Not
okay.
flour, like flower.
Yeah.
Flower as in a bud flower.
Okay, I got you.
So, so it looks like bud,
Okay.
but you can cook with it. If you were to eat it in its raw form, they say that it has the most cannabinoids in it. Cannabinoids are what make up cannabis, and the terpenes in that is what gives it its odor. So when you hear about terpenes, like lemons have terpenes in it, it's what gives it the smell and the taste.
Right.
So when you cook with it or when you eat it raw, put it in a smoothie, your body's actually getting the most benefit out of it in its rawest form. So when you extract it, you're kind of diluting it a little bit, but really if you can eat it, if you're bold enough, I'm saying, if you get it in its rawest form, it's really going to benefit the body the most.
Well, I'm learning a lot.
Yes, indeed. Yes,
It
indeed.
is not a smack on the hand. You shouldn't feel like you got hotted or even uncomfortable, because a lot of people, we already know this, ignorance speaks loud. When people don't understand or they've been misinformed, they're the loudest in the room. But
Ooh, especially with another nugget. One more time. One more time. Talk about that one more time, just in case everybody can catch that.
ignorance or misinformed information is the loudest.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Thank you for sharing.
That's a lot
Oh.
Yeah, I'm still reading from it. Okay. So with an individual who comes into your store, brand new customer, all right, what would you, just in a normal day, how would you help instruct that individual? They never had this before, never done a drug, whatever the case may be, but they have an issue within their body that they keep hearing that this is the best thing. How would you instruct them?
I will always be an advocate of tinctures.
Okay.
But we start off by asking the customer, like, what brings you in today?
Mhm.
And usually people the mouth just opens and it just flows.
Mhm.
People don't find us, you know what I mean, by mistake. They have looked for us. We are usually a destination source of some sort.
Wow.
So we really talk them through the process, trying to figure out what's wrong with them, but also give them a disclaimer, like, we're not doctors,
Mhm.
but these are our opinions that we're giving back to you.
Right.
But yeah, I think there's so many lower lying things in the body that, sometimes we'll go to a doctor, they're treating one thing and they're trying to figure out maybe what the underlying cause is. Well, I feel like if you take a tincture internally, that maybe it's not really the hip, maybe it's the sciatica, you know what I mean? Like, it's going to figure out everything that's going on in the body. And that's how CBD works for so many people on so many different levels, right? So if somebody comes in with a migraine, but somebody comes in with a bad hip, that same product can help two different people because it's actually working from the cellular level. So when you take it internally, you're taking it out of the tongue, it's getting into the blood capillaries, into the bloodstream, it's bypassing your major organs, so it's working differently. So it's called bioavailability. When you do it like that, you get more bioavailability of the medicine in the body. For example, if you're taking a leave, Tylenol, a pill, we're only absorbing so much of that medicine, maybe 10% at best. We're not getting that whole pill in our body. So you got to wonder how much of it is a placebo effect. Clearly, we can say that about anything.
Right.
But if you're taking an oil as a homeopathic under the tongue, you're going to get more of that medicine in the body.
I'm talking about straight dropping now.
Takes that Tylenol and leave ibuprofen. What you pay for all three of them, because you usually take one for one thing, one for another thing, or the severity of pain that you're in. If you take all three of what you pay for them and go to her store, you will have a longer relief. And you'll have a product that lasts longer, because guess what? When you're taking this in, it's natural and it's going straight into your bloodstream, it keeps you from having to take it so often.
And tear up your stomach.
And tear your stomach lining. And so unless, like you have friends like Adrian who's really just trying to just be elevated, you won't have to indulge so often, and you'll wind up having that product longer.
You hear that, friend?
Friend, whoever that friend is,
Friends to the end. Look out for you. So within your store, so a lot of people understand, because that's a great point that you just mentioned in regards to what you're paying with this, and this, and Morocco even alluded on last time. What are your price points in the store, so therefore people will know that this is a viable and vital investment?
Absolutely. So they can go to my website and look over products as well. So mygreenhouse.biz.
Okay.
But yeah, so pricing varies. So edibles, we have, I think, anything from $10 to $50.
Okay.
And again, I know it sounds expensive, but God knows, do not eat that whole thing of gummies. You might, it's gonna be a while for you to get out that bed.
Wow.
Yeah.
One gummy bear, one gummy bear, one.
No, sir.
You said one gummy?
Yes.
One.
Yes.
So if a person,
You might have like 10 or 15 gummies in a bag.
so you can't just sit there like this.
Do not say, I'm about to watch the E-game on the
Right,
fire stick.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
sir, one gummy bear.
So
Eat that one and then go get you some ribs.
You have to, everybody's body will consume it differently.
That's
Okay.
why I
So
was just about to
yeah, so start like we have rings that are 10 milligrams per ring. Now, me personally, I have a different pain level, right? Because I have a sickness.
Right.
So they may do fine for Melissa. That 10 milligrams ain't gonna do nothing for me. But I know that, right?
Right.
We have a lot of men that come in. You know how y'all men are.
Mm.
They come in, they're like, oh, I'm a big dude. I need a lot. I need one ain't going. Okay, go ahead and think that way, because you about to be knocked out because you don't want to listen.
So no Wakanda forever?
Start.
Yeah, you're just gonna be like this.
Wow.
Yes. So start with one. That's the thing. Anything you do, the tinctures, the edibles start with one.
Okay.
You want to give it about 20 minutes. See if it's relieving you of whatever you were going after, right?
Right.
If it was a stressful day, if your ankle is acting up, whatever relief that you were going for, see if you feel a difference. If you don't, then do another one.
Okay.
But you really need to give edibles like an hour, because it takes them a while to kind of get into the body and really do what they want to do.
Wow.
So the tinctures, different price point. They range anywhere from 45, which is the green dragon I was telling you about, up to 150.
Mhm.
We're watching our pricing. Like I said, my background is a buyer. I've been in marketing 15 years.
Mhm.
Understanding your demographic and your market is huge.
Right.
There are other products that are more pricier. I'm not sure my demographic is ready for that yet. As we test our market more, we'll know that.
Mhm.
So with CBD, right now it's supply and demand. The more milligrams of CBD, the more expensive the product.
Right.
So right now we carry, I think, about 1,000 milligrams of CBD. So that's going to run you about $100.
Mhm.
Like I said, depending on the product. So with the rubs, most of our rubs are about $40.
Mhm.
They're in small jars. Most of them are shea butter based.
Mhm.
So you don't need a whole lot.
Mhm.
A little bit will go a long ways, because people kind of scoff at the price, like, ugh. Well, that little jar, first of all, it's magic. Second of all, it's going to last you a long time. So, and a lot of our customers are repeat customers, whether they're online or in person, or I work with them. You know, at my full-time job, a lot of them are repeat customers and buy the same product over and over. We had a lady, and I can't make claims specifically,
Okay.
but we did have a lady come in, her and her sister, a little older, and she had fibromyalgia. There was a product that we kind of went through the whole spiel, kind of went back and forth on a couple of things, and a product that she settled on gave her so much relief. She said she hasn't had that much energy in so long, she can't even tell me. She gave us a Google review. If you go to Google, you can read her review.
Mhm.
But she said she cleaned house, she was upbeat, she was pain-free, and like she was just so thankful to find something that worked for her. So the husband was out in the car mad because she was taking forever, and that's normal. Like I'll be ready to go in, but when you are in pain, you are willing to kind of almost speed anything and do anything.
Yes.
And we really, like you were saying about the other shop, we really try not to take advantage of that and really kind of listen to the customer, what they're going through, because we don't want to tear up your pocket, but like the goal is to make you feel better.
Right.
Mhm.
Amazing.
So different prices for everything.
Yeah, I think we should take a field trip.
She wouldn't say that.
Shotgun.
Man, oh man. Well, guys, this is coming close to that time, but we gotta do some shouts out.
Yeah,
We gotta do some shouts out. So first shout out.
Me.
That's right.
Yes.
Because you have brought the knowledge today.
Yeah, thank you. Our viewers are like, hold up, what did she say?
I've already put your address information, everything on this right here.
Oh, and I forgot to tell y'all, so I'm putting on a convention. It's called Carolina's Cannabis Convention.
Yep.
So CarolinaCannabisCommission.com. August the 16th and the 17th. It is the first major trade show about cannabis and hemp in Charlotte. So we are anticipating 2,000 attendees. Tickets are not available yet. I know somebody's gonna ask me that.
Yes.
Everything in CBD is harder. So credit card processing, everything is harder.
Yep.
Just waiting for that to get approved so we can get that up. But we're looking for sponsors, we're looking for exhibitors, we're looking for farmers. If you know Black farmers, if you know farmers in Charlotte, that's the hardest thing for me to tap into right now. We're looking for them to come. We have speakers lined up. We have African-American lady, Ms. Khadijah, who is speaking on finding partnerships and investors. So we have speakers lined up. First day will be B2B, second day will be B2C, and it's at the Charlotte Renaissance Suites, which is right across from Bell Corporate Office.
Okay.
So open to the public. You guys cannot support me. Then we have a special right now for women in cannabis that is $5 off for your booth for 2 days. Regular price is $1,000. So to get on board, email me, anything, let me know.
Anyone that attended the Urban Time Awards, and you got a swag bag.
Yep.
Kim's information was one of the things inside of our swag bag, and there was also a flyer about the cannabis convention. So if you haven't, take that paper, look it up. You probably might have used it, got it on the refrigerator somewhere. This is the queen that we promoted in the swag bags during that award show.
Yep, and I'm putting it up there right now, CarolinaCannabisConvention.com.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Right.
Now, supporting another business.
Right.
Care to share?
I thought you was gonna do it. You got the fingers. Y'all silly. Y'all stupid. So I do smelly jelly jars. My business is Mahogany Essence. They are guaranteed for 2 months. And I have pearberry, black cherry, hot baked apple pie, and I have a smoke eliminator, but I'm just calling it all good because it takes away all odors, smoke, and like mildew, things of that nature. I've had a couple people test them out. I've had my smokers out there of cannabis or Newports. The All Good is actually in a mist. So if and when you do need to freshen up your car, your room, whatever the case, you can do that. Those are sold in a 2-ounce mist bottle. So check me out on Facebook. The jelly jars are $8. The mist is $6.
I lie to you not. You fall in love with these things.
It's like good.
Yes. One last thing.
Go ahead.
And any other businesses that want to actually promote with the podcast?
Yes.
Oh.
So if you are an up-and-coming business, if you have an event, if you have music, we believe in being the people's podcast. So therefore, check us out on urbantmedia.com. You will see our advertising rates. And we don't just do it one time. We believe in really promoting. And so basically, everything that's going on right now here on Facebook will actually convert it to a YouTube video. It'll stay up forever. And then we actually do promotions on our social media for a whole month for the business.
For a whole month. And shout outs to our contributor who wants to stay anonymous for our time, because we are truly doing this for our love. We are not getting paid, and we are paying to give this to you. So we had a sponsor to pay for our studio time next month. Each time we are here for an hour is $15. For the month is $30. You have promotions, you have advertising for your business. You have us who will actually come out. I will come out, or all three of us will come to your business, to your site, and actually do an at the round table, just quick promo as well. So there's a lot that comes with that contribution, and knowing that our followers have grown so much. I mean, we have tripled, quadrupled our viewership, and they are not watching live. The number of views by that weekend after our broadcast is just amazing. So it is definitely worth you going to Urban Times Media, checking out the rates and what you would like, and letting us know, hey, well, you know what? I can do this month. I can do that month. And we can definitely work with you in regards to that. But we need your support. We need your sponsorship. We need you to have us, the people, keep us to be able to bring the People's Podcast.
That's right. And the irony is that this month we really exhibited a lot of stories dealing with health. So thank you, Kim, for dropping that knowledge and that blessing to us. Thank you for Marathi from last week doing the very same thing.
Yes.
And then we also have another interview that we're going to be doing in which they deal with holistic meditation as well as soaps and rubs and things of that nature, because it's all about us getting back into knowing our bodies.
Yes.
So we want to thank everybody for that. And y'all, that's the time
That's
before
it.
we get kicked out.
We gotta go.
Thank y'all for joining us once again at Urban Times and at the Roundtable.
The People's Podcast.
That's it.
A Money.
You gotta take us out.
We'll catch you next time.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Peace.